Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Uh, didn't get to do a video today, been ripping and running all day. So I wanted to pop in and go live. And then, every now and then, y'all know I try to get on here. I'm supposed to come on here once a week for the Blessed Tribe and do a Q&A. And but you know how schedules get. So let me see here real quick. Let me get my phone situated. Let me see. See if I could get this put on here real quick to my IG. Y'all forgive me. All righty. So wanting to pop on here, do a little Q&A and a little chat. Now, I know I did a video the other day touching on the Kevin Samuel situation. And I know a lot of people been talking about that, and just kind of me looking and me seeing like a lot of people responses. It showed me a lot about human nature. And I guess because it didn't happen to me, it's almost like I try to think about, like, as a black man, like if a white supremacist died, that's the energy, like how would I feel? And that's the energy that I've been seeing from a lot of women who were affected by the message. And one person reminded me, they were like, Tony, you pretty much called this. And I didn't mean it in that, well, I meant it in that way. But here's one thing, is me being a Christian and me being a, very spiritual person, I really don't play by God. That's one thing I don't play by. Like, I'm not like a religious nut. I'm not a religious freak. I'm not one of them people that just gonna be beating you across the head with the Bible. I'm not one of them people. But at the same time, you have to realize that I believe in God. I serve God. I'm a Christian, a professing Christian. And what I mean by Christian is I literally do everything in my power to live by the Holy Bible. And in my behind the scenes, like, I'm gonna give you an example. I was on my Twitter today, and I was looking at it, showed me like this person and 11 other people started following you. So I always look at the pictures and the bios to see if it's somebody that I need to network with. I saw one of them was a doctor, and she got a PhD. And so I followed her back. And then as I scrolled down, I got to the bottom, and I seen the picture, and it was like two Caucasian women standing together in like bathing suits. And I'm like, well, what is this about? Like, who is this? And I clicked on it, and the top post, the top last tweet was a video of a woman naked looking down and playing with herself. And so this on Twitter now. And so I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is on Twitter. And so later today, I was back on Twitter, and I'm looking, and I seen such and such, and X amount of people started following you. And I click on it, and it was the same follow list. And I seen that same picture down there. Now, as a man who is heterosexual, when you see a naked woman doing something like that, it was like a pornography. And do you know when I went back in there, I did not click on that page again. I ain't click on that page again to get me a second view of that video, to watch that video again. And in that moment, I said to myself, I said, I'm a grown man. I could do anything I want to do. And I say, right now, I could go and I could watch this nasty video again and get my whole eye full. I could lust up. I could go in the bathroom and I could take care of myself off of this here video. But I say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not into that. I'm not finna feed that, because you feed that lust gonna grow, and that lust cannot be quenched. And before you know it, I end up be addicted to them nasty videos, and it's millions of men who are addicted to pornography. And for that very reason, I say I'm not going. I clicked on it the first time out of curiosity, like, who is this following me? And there's two women standing together in the bathing suits. And then after I seen that video, I ain't go back to it. And do you know I done seen other pages like that on Twitter, and I didn't go back to it. And here's the thing. What I said to myself, and I'm sharing this with you, which it really don't mean nothing, because we all could be liars, we all could be fakes, we all could be frauds. But I'm sharing a real life story with you. And for those people who are spiritually inclined, you're gonna know I'm telling the truth. If if you just a hater, or you just whatever, passerby, then you don't think I'm just saying this just to be saying this. But I really, in my life, try to keep my behind the scenes. I want my behind the scenes to look like my highlight reel. And I'm working on myself right now on the behind the scenes, just even in my energy with my wife, my conversation with my wife, my dealings with my wife. Just 15 years into marriage, still trying to grow, still trying to get better. But I look at my life, and because I've been walking with God for a long time, and because I literally take this thing seriously, when the brother was doing what he was doing, I did a video and I said, speaking of Kevin Samuels, I said, listen, y'all men out here that is sending these messages, be careful, because this God child, like, you dealing in a spiritual realm. And I'm sending this message out, and not to say that that's why he passed away, but to send a warning shot to every other man out here, that if you are deliberately upending the work of God, if you deliberately upending the work of God, meaning if God say that you should abstain until marriage, and you go out here and you tell people that they need to be having sex outside of marriage, you are upending the work of God. You working against God. If God say that marriage is better to marry than to burn, if God say a man who finds a wife finds a good thing, if you go out here, and I'm talking to the men, not to the brother who passed away, but to the men who living and the women who living, if you go out here and you have a message that is directly against the word of God, against the teachings of the Lord, you setting yourself up for failure. And we don't know what the wrath of God is going to look like against you. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing is that you have to realize that wherever your spirit is, wherever your spirit is, that's where your life is going to be. So if your spirit goes into this place of hate, of disdain, of bitterness, of jealousy, of control, then your lifestyle, you're going to make choices. So if you isolate yourself, if you alienate yourself, if you put yourself on a pedestal, if you feel like you're better than other people, then you're going to be lonely. And then what's going to happen is, and see, this what people don't realize, this what a lot of men don't understand about the word of God is, in the book of Proverbs, it tell you about strange women. who lie in wait to take your life. And really what it's talking about with these strange women is really like, as a man, I remember I had a homeboy, he said, hey, because I don't drink, I don't smoke weed. I don't smoke weed and I've never smoked weed. I used to sell weed, but I've never smoked weed. And I remember I had a homeboy, he started smoking weed. And he was like, hey, so Baloney. He used to call me Baloney because my name Tony. He was like, hey, Baloney, so you wouldn't smoke weed with a girl? Like if you was hanging out with this girl and she said, in order to hit, you got to fire up. He was like, you wouldn't smoke? I was like, no. And but what he was saying to me is that he would do something strange for a piece of change. He was saying to me that he will go against, that he expect a man to go against his morals and his values for a woman. And so that's what's happening is these men out here, and not the past, not the past, the one who passed away, but I'm talking about the one living, is they writing a check they can't cash. And that's why I try to tell these boys, like, listen, talk about cryptocurrency. That's why I respect Earn Your Leisure and the Wall Street Trapper. And I respect them guys because they stay out of the relationship. God ain't got nothing to do with cryptocurrency. God ain't got nothing to do with the stock market. But one thing he got something to do with is marriage, is sex outside of marriage, is fornication. I'm trying to tell these guys, like, listen, we got to, if we're not going to be conscious and if we're not going to be mindful, Tanya, God bless you. And I missed a question up here, Jess. God bless you, but ain't answer the question right now. So God bless you now. Tanya, bless you. And so stay out of the God area. Whatever's not you shouldn't teach greed if you're talking about money. You shouldn't teach greed. You shouldn't teach bad money management because that stuff is in the Bible, but your soul ain't on it unless you worshiping money. Can't serve God and money. Now, when you out here and you teaching messages, and this is the thing, I'm a Christian, but I'm not going to disrespect no Muslim. I'm a Christian. I ain't finna disrespect no Buddhist because I don't know what all they believe in. And I believe in spirits, good and evil. So just like I know my God real, I'm not finna get into no argument with somebody about what they believe in because it could be the same God, but they speak a different language. They come from a different area. They don't speak English. They don't speak Hebrew. They don't speak Aramaic or Arabic or whatever. So I'm not going to try to get too deep in, all of that, but I'm going to know what's real and I'm going to respect other people's beliefs. And that's what I was trying to tell these guys. And that's what I was trying to say to their brother is, listen, man, don't play with God. Don't come and make your whole mission, your whole movement to upend the work of God. Because when men out here telling women, hey, if a man take you on a date, you need to be ready to sleep with him. That's fornication. That is a sin. When men out here saying, the woman got to share a man, that's adultery. If a man is married and if he's not married, then he in fornication. So that is against God. And then some of these men, they coming and they saying like, oh, are you a Christian? And then they bashing Christianity. And they bashing women who Christian, men who Christian. And listen, that's dangerous. That's a dangerous ground because listen, when you done been in the streets hustling and you got a gun in your lap and you sleep with a gun under your pillow, you don't believe in fairy tales. You stop believing in fairy tales when you got to pull a gun on a man. You stop believing in fairy tales. And so although I was only out there for 5 summers, I was out there long enough to not believe in fairy tales. So when I tell you God real, that's because I know God real for a fact. That's because I know for a FACT God real. I put my whole life on it. I don't believe in fairy tales. So that's why when I tell y'all boys, listen, find something else to do. Find something else to do. If you got to go against the work of God, first you need to learn what the work of God is. So if God is for marriage, if God is against sex outside of marriage, if God is against adultery, then you need not be teaching that and condoning that, because you're going against God, and it's going to be a price to pay. And it might not be death. You might lose your health. You might lose a leg. You might finally fall in love and absolutely get your heart broke so bad that you suicidal, you ready to end it all. It ain't no telling what it's going to be. And see, and it ain't God just sitting up there as a puppet master. It's cause and effect. It's choices, decisions, and consequences. So here's the thing. If I'm talking tough as a man, and I'm talking tough, and I'm out here and I'm doing all of this, like these young men that's on these podcasts, if I'm doing all this, I got to back it up. So now I got to go pick up women to prove that I could live what I'm teaching. But guess what? You only gonna pick up so many women before you pick up a woman that's gonna set you up to get killed. You only gonna pick up so many women before you pick up a woman that's gonna put that HIV on you, that HIV. You only gonna pick up so many women before you pick up a woman that's gonna run you for everything you worth. You only gonna pick up so many women before you meet your match. You're gonna meet a woman who walking and living and talking and acting like the spawn of Satan, because that woman have been taken advantage of, that woman have been dogged out, that woman have been mistreated, that woman have went through everything on the face of this earth, and she waiting on a sucker like you. She waiting on a man that's on the internet talking tough, that's on the internet talking tough about how he run women and he got women and he do this and he do that. Y'all boys is going to meet a woman that is going to make you lose your mind. You're going to be homicidal, suicidal, or both. I'm telling you, y'all boys need to shut up. You need to sit down and you need to go find something else to do. Stop trying to work against God. Stop trying to work against God, because it's going to be a price to pay. And I did a message about this, and I didn't even remember it, but one of y'all told me. You said, Tony, you sent a warning about this, because I felt this so deep in my spirit. I say, this ain't gonna end well. This ain't gonna end well, because I'm out here and I ain't nowhere near perfect. My wife will tell you I ain't nowhere near perfect now. I have a lot of growing to do in the areas of communication and all of those things, and I teach on it. And I'm able to teach on it because I'm human, because I experience, I go through it. And so this is what I'm trying to tell you. Any and every man, and y'all send this to these boys out here that's got these podcasts. Y'all boys better sit down and shut up. You better start talking about cryptocurrency. You better start talking about stock trading, and stop trying to talk about love and relationships, because God said in his word, the greatest gift given to mankind is charity. Love. The greatest gift is love. And you got love that's like a love for your neighbor, a love for your sibling, your family member, but you also have love that turns into a family, that brings kids into the world. That's the foundation, is love. And what we got today is we got men and women who are trying to upend love. They're trying to put an end to marriage. They're trying to put an end to heterosexual love. They're trying to put an end to pure love. They're trying to put an end to faithful love. They're trying to say that, marriage ain't necessary, that love ain't real, and all these different things. That's against the work of God. That's against the will of God. Because do you think God want us to be single and sleeping around? Yeah, you could reproduce, but you reproducing children that is not in a two-parent household. So you think that's the work of God? So when we out here and we teaching polyamory and open relationships and all of this nonsense, that's against the work of God, because that's not productive for society. Think about as a child, if you growing up, think about when you 10 years old, if you watching you live with your daddy and he's sleeping with a different woman every week. You live with your mama, she's sleeping with a different man every week. You 10 years old. How that's gonna affect you? How is that productive? But that's what they teaching. If you see your parent in an open relationship and they sleeping with different people, how that's going to be healthy? How is that going to be beneficial to the advancement of the world, to the next generation? That's against the work of God. So these people pushing open relationship, they pushing adultery, they pushing fornication, they pushing cheating, they pushing all of this stuff, they pushing single life. These men and women, it's a lot of different podcasts out there that's pushing this stuff, and I'm telling you, you're gonna wake up dead. You're gonna wake up dead. Whether it's your finances, whether it's your life, whether it's your health, because you cannot play with God. You cannot play with God. In the end, we win. We got a creator. We got a savior. It's a lot of atheists out here. It's a lot of people don't believe. Listen, I don't believe in fairy tales. I don't believe in fairy tales. I don't believe in no white man with a big beard sitting on a gold chair in the sky. I don't believe in none of that. I don't believe in no blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus. I don't believe in that. And I don't believe in fairy tales. I don't believe in a narrative that America done painted, a picture that they done painted. I believe in God. God is a spirit, not a man, not a woman. God is a spirit, and it is real. And God is present. And listen, there's a reckoning that's going to happen to each and every person that's trying to upend the advancement of the human race. Because you seen what happened when he put Noah in the ark. You seen what happened when he burnt down Sodom and Gomorrah. You seen what happened when Pharaoh ain't want to let his people go. Listen, you only gonna play with God for so long, and then you're gonna get a charge that you can't afford, and it's gonna be sayonara. And that's what I'm trying to take. And that's why I realized I was playing with God, and I had to change my life. And I'm still working to change my life, because I can't be out here loud and making all this noise, and then in life I'm living a mess. I'm living a mess. And you know what? They try me. They try me. It's a young lady. It's a young lady just wrote me. It's a young lady just wrote me on Instagram. A young lady just wrote me on my request. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. On here, a young lady just wrote me on my request, and she is one of them women that look like a Barbie doll, that get all the face and all of that done, and get all the lips done, get the cheeks done, get all of that done. And it's a Caucasian. And so when it comes to coaching, there is a color line. There's a color line. I got a few Caucasian clients, but because of America has painted black people as inferior, a lot of black professionals, clinicians, professionals in any field don't necessarily have a lot of white clients. Some do, but it's rare. It's an exception to the rule. It's not the rule. And so it's this lady. She outside of my demographic now. Don't look nothing like my demographic. She coming there with a fake message. Hey, Tony, my life is going through a lot, and I want to know if I can have some help. But see, I could see the spirit. I could see the spirit. I know what my demographic look like. I know how people who serious about some help. It's like, and especially women. A woman could find a man text message from 5 years ago. So I know a woman know how to book a coaching session with me. So if a woman sliding in my DMs for a coaching session, I'm already on high alert. So I know the devil gonna be sending people at me. But you know what Lord has showed me is it wasn't even about the external, it was about the internal. It was about me and my wife. It was about how I talk to my wife, how I treat my wife. That's really where I'm doing my work. That's really where I'm working, where I'm growing, where I'm constantly telling myself, Tony, okay, be mindful of your words, Tony. Okay, be mindful of your energy, Tony. Be confident, be positive, be pure. Because I done seen already that the devil gonna send these different women. And they're gonna come in different ways, and it ain't always gonna be blatant. It's not always gonna be blatant, but you got to be aware. You got to be aware. And so this is the thing. When you talking tough, see, the devil don't want you to, the devil don't care nothing about you. What the devil want to do, what the devil want to do is give you a mountaintop. The devil want to give you a mountaintop so he can put you off the cliff, and everybody who believe in you can watch you fall. That's what the devil want to do. Because the devil want to steal, kill, and destroy. So just because you're doing the work of the devil don't mean you're safe. At the end, he's still going to take you out because it's going to crush a lot of people, good or bad. Even when the devil takes somebody out who doing his work, it's still sending good people into a bad place, because when you rejoicing in somebody's death, you losing. So for every woman that was happy that their brother died, you losing. And that's the devil get a victory out of that. Because if you such in a place that you could rejoice in somebody's death, you're in a very miserable place. Your life won't produce no good fruit. You're bad at the root. Because when you're walking with the Lord, you learn to forgive. You learn to seek to understand. You learn to pray for your enemy. You don't relish in somebody's downfall. You don't relish in somebody's death. You don't take pride in that when you're walking with God. So at the end of the day, the devil still get the victory. So even though somebody that's not doing the work of God could lose their life, I'm not going to rejoice in that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lesson from it. And I ain't going to say it was God who did it. I don't believe, that it's all that. But what I do understand is where your mind is at. Where your mind is at is going to determine your choices. So guess what? If these men who online talking tough about single life and having a big dangling and being able to pull women, and they got to go do it, now you got to back it up. Now see, listen, it's not natural for a man to sleep with a woman and not have no release for 30 minutes. That's not natural. That release is intended to come in 30 seconds. That release is because the purpose of it from God is not just for your pleasure. The purpose is to reproduce. So the purpose of the creation of that reproductive process, it was literally it was supposed to be instantaneous. It's just like in the Bible when the two daughters, their daddy was getting old. Can't remember if it was Isaac or Jacob or whoever. And the two daughters got them drunk and they went to sleep with them. The daughter went and slept with them. And then the next night, the other daughter got them drunk and went to sleep with them. And both of them got pregnant. It was a one-hitter quitter. It was a one-hitter quitter. This is an old man. He about to die. But because he had done them berries and them grains, he ain't had no processed food. At 100 years old or however old he was, that man was potent. You hear me? That man, daughter's pregnant. That's an old man. He was drunk. That thing wasn't standing up all too well. Them daughters hopped on there, pregnant just like that. That's how God created that. So guess what? If you a man and you online and you talking tough about how many women you could pull and all this, guess what you finna have to get into? You finna have to get into mixing drugs. You finna have to get into stimulants, because when you go to that club and you pull that woman, when you at that lounge and you pull that woman and you got a podcast and you online and you talking tough on your podcast, you get in there in that bedroom with that woman and you give her 30 good seconds, you finna be on the blog. So guess what? You got to get stimulants and you got to be on other kind of stuff to try to get you that 30 minutes, to try to get you that round 2, that round 3. And guess what? It's going to take your life. See, the Bible say the wages of sin is death. The wages of sin is death. So eventually, fornication going to kill you. Eventually, adultery going to kill you, because the wages of sin is death. The repayment for sin is death. Eventually, drug use going to kill you. Eventually, theft going to kill you. Eventually, killing going to kill you. Eventually, sin going to kill you. And that's what we got to understand. And so if with y'all boys out here on these podcasts, and you trying to upend the work of God, you telling people fornicate, adulterate, don't marry, women be a slave, women give your body away, women share a man. You telling these women all this stuff, you're gonna have to back it up. And now you going against God, because that ain't what God created. That ain't what God intended for the world. So now it's you versus God. So now you finna have a price to pay. Because now you a human being and you trying to undo the work. Because what we supposed to be doing, we supposed to be married, we supposed to be faithful, and we supposed to be cultivating the next generation. If we're gonna bring kids into the world, we supposed to be an example to have these kids healthy, whole, confident, loving, caring, generous, mindful, obedient, all of these things, polite. But if you a cheating man, your child finna be messed up. If you're an easy woman, or easy man, a cheating woman, a cheating man, a no good man, a no good woman, your child finna be messed up. So now you taking and you ruining God's world. You ruining the world because you not living right. So guess what? I'm with my wife and I'm faithful to my wife, but my words and my energy and my attitude still have broken her at times. So imagine if a man could be 100% faithful and break his wife with bad energy, bad communication skills. Imagine a cheating man. How much more that's going to do to a woman. So this is what I understand, because I'm a man. So now you giving a woman who might not be emotionally intelligent. You giving a woman who got a lot of her own trauma. You giving this woman, you breaking this woman, and you asking her to raise your kids. How's she gonna raise whole kids if she not whole? And this is what the Lord had to show me. Tony, you got to do better. Tony, you got to grow up. Tony, you got to man up. Tony, you got to change your life. Because Tony, listen, I'm going to give you this opportunity to get this here right. I'm going to let some stuff come to the light. I'm going to let some stuff hit the fan to get this here right. You don't get this right, you going to pay a price. You don't get this right, you going to pay a price. I done gave your wife the endurance to be able to put up with your mess. But if you don't get right, see, one thing about God is God give you grace. One thing about God, God give you grace. So that's why, see me, I don't speak out to these here men that's online. I don't like calling people names or none of that. Y'all know that. But I had to start calling people out. And I had to start calling them out. And so when I had to start calling them out, that was the opportunity for grace. That was to say, hey, listen, you got other people in the space trying to show you the error of your ways. Now these boys doubling down. Okay. Double down. Okay. God trying to send you warning shots. He just spying in the air. He just spying in the air just to let you know. Vacate the premises now. Vacate the premises. I'm just letting you know. Vacate the premises. Oh, but you want to double down? You want to keep coming? All right, finna put one in your head. Spiritually. You see what I'm saying? Spiritually. Metaphorically, got to understand it, but now the spiritual will turn physical. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's a war in the spiritual realm. But that war in the spiritual realm becomes physical. When you turn on the news, that's the physical side of spiritual warfare. And that's what you got to understand. I'm finna write a book on spiritual warfare because I done been in the deepest, darkest trenches because of what I'm doing in the world. Because of what I'm doing in the world, I'm going to be attacked mentally and emotionally more than anybody because of what I'm trying to do in the world, because of what I'm trying to bring forth, because of what God doing through me. I have to receive attack. So when you see me down, when you see me quiet, when you see my message is different, it's because of spiritual warfare. And see, this is the thing. When you in spiritual warfare, you can't wrestle in the flesh. So Men going through spiritual warfare, women going through spiritual warfare, and then they self-medicating with pills, with drugs, with sex, with physicality, with human beings. They trying to self-medicate because of what they going through spiritually. So they know that they need to grow. We all know we need to grow. We know we need to change. But if you choose to serve your money, if you choose to double down doing the wrong thing, now you need something to take the edge off, because now it's you versus God. And when it's you versus God, you're going to need just some powder. When it's you versus God, you're going to need some weed. You're going to need some pills. You're going to need some random women that you picking up out the club, or some random men you picking up out the club when it's you versus God, because it's spiritual. And this is what people got to understand. See, once it came to my attention, I was playing with God. Oh, no, I got to get this all the way right. Lord, I ain't know I was in the wrong. Lord, I ain't even realize I was in the wrong. Lord, I ain't even realize I wasn't doing right. No, I got to get it all the way right. But see, these boys out here doubling down. These boys out here doubling down, and listen, it's going to cost you everything. It's going to cost you everything. It's going to cost you more than you can afford to pay. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to cost you more than you can afford to pay. And see, this is the thing, what I try to get men to understand, you got to think about this thing logically. It's just the law of averages. It's like if you sleeping with random women, even in the Bible, men of God was turned out. They was turned over to a reprobate mind, or they was turned over. They started worshiping other gods, graven images. Because of the women they were sleeping with. Because of the women they brought into their bed, that woman brought a spirit. That woman brought another God. That woman brought. So these guys that's promoting this sleep around, share, a woman got to share adultery, fornication, all of this. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. You only gonna get lucky so many times. You only gonna be spared so many times. And y'all, now sit down and do your homework. Sit down and do your homework and look at the celebrities, and look at the people in your family, the people in your neighborhood, and count up the men that done died at the hands of a loose woman. They count up the men that they choices then led them down a path of getting deeper and deeper and deeper into sin. Whether it's street violence, whether it's drug use, whether it's other illegal activity, counted up how many people done lost their freedom or lost their life. How many men that you done heard of, that you done seen, that you know about when you turn on the news, because that sin get bigger. It get bigger, and it go deeper, and it gonna cost you. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to consecrate yourself. You got to prune and pluck and pry and deal and work and toil and war in the spirit, so that you could be made new, so that you could be made whole, so that you could become a new creature, so that you could change your mindset. You got to address your pain. You got to address your fear. You got to address your trauma. You got to address that hurt. And you have to grow. You have to change, or you're going to lose it all. Whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, you're going to lose it all. I could not, and I'm telling you, in the spiritual realm, I knew something was going on, and it's still going on. It's still going on. Listen to me. It's way deeper than I could say on here. It's way more business to it than I could say on here. It get way deeper. But when I tell you the devil busy, the devil busy. The devil so busy. Listen to me. Listen to me. We getting ready to go into scary hours. We getting ready to go into scary hours. You better clean up your life. You better clean up your life. You better consecrate your life. You better get on the Bible app and go to the plans and you better start searching the plans, and you better get on the Bible in a year. Get on the Bible in a year, and start listening to it every day or reading it, whichever you like to do. And you better learn from them stories. Get a lesson from them stories and get your life in order. Cause we getting ready to go into scary hours. It's about to get real in the field. People about to start getting plucked off. I'm talking about the devil going. I'm talking about the devil going. And this is the thing. Doors getting open. Doors getting open. See, what a lot of people don't understand is Satan got keys too. When he was kicked out of heaven, he was given dominion over the earth. A lot of people don't realize that. Go back and look at it now. A lot of people don't realize that it was free reign. That's how he was able to take Jesus to the mountaintop and offer him everything. That's how he was able to sit up there and sup with him and talk to him like that, because he got authorization. He could move and shake. That what you think the music industry is? You think that's God? What you think the movie industry is? You think that's God? How that's making you better? Your 8-year-old watching Disney and watching two boys kissing, watching two girls kissing. You think that's giving your 8-year-old clarity or confusion? So who running Disney? You think God? You think children? You think God-fearing people running Disney? The devil got keys. The devil got keys. So you know what the devil will do? The devil will take and open a door for you, because he know that door that just opened gonna destroy you. He know it's gonna give you so much ego, and that's what he tried to do to me. Open doors, roadblocks was moved out the way because I come from nothing. So because I come from nothing and I'm broke-minded, scarcity-minded, financially illiterate, money almost killed me. Money almost destroyed my marriage because it went to my head, made me egotistical. See, God will bless now. God will bless you. But at the same time, too, the devil could bless you too. The devil could bless you too. But see, what God, the Bible says, God give gifts and add no sorrow. See, what the devil does, he plants a snare. So what is a snare? So when you understand a snare is what your fish bite in the water when you fishing. That's a snare. That's essentially what a snare is. That fish think it can come up on a blessing. Ooh, I'm gonna come out. Ooh, that fish come in now, think it got a blessing. Yeah. Next thing you know, it's in a frying pan or in the oven for those of y'all healthy people. For me, it's in a frying pan. That fish thought it had a blessing and came up on a snare. That's the same way how we supposed to be fishermen of men for God. The devil out here fishing for men too. But that bait that look good got a hook in it. And then you get hooked up. Then the next thing you know, you own drugs. Next thing you know, you're in fornication, you're in adultery, you're living in all kind of sin. The next thing you know, listen to me when I tell you, clean your life up. Clean your life up. Tony, how I clean my life up? Start reading and listening to that Bible. Do the Bible in a year on the Bible app. Get on the Bible app. See, everybody say Holy Bible. Get on the Bible app and get in there in that plan. Get in that plan. And I can read, but I don't like reading like that. So I listen. I listen to the audio. You get on in there in that plan. And see, we on the 11th. You see how mine got that check mark on the 12th? I'm a day ahead. See, it say 1 day ahead. I'm on there. You see here today where it say what I listened to this morning? Genesis, Matthew, Psalm, Proverbs. You know what's in there? It's wisdom in there. The same type of women. The women that's setting these men up to be robbed. The women that's getting these men, putting that heels on them. That HIV. The women that's tripping these men up, that's ruining marriages. Them women is in the book of Proverbs. But see, now you got the inverted now. You got the inverted. If you're a woman, if you're a woman, it's the men. The way the Bible talk, see, the Bible is written way back then. Women ain't had no voice, women ain't had no right, women was treated like nothing back then. It was a few women that have good stories in the Bible, you know, like Esther, or like of power, of influence, or what have you. But what you got to look at now is you got to invert it. But that wisdom that preparing you, it's in Proverbs. It's in Proverbs right there. And so now you say, oh, so this kind of man I got to look out for, this kind of woman I got to look out for, because the adversary coming to steal, kill, and destroy. So now, if you ain't abreast, and now I was listening the other day to about Lot's wife, when God was about to burn down, destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And why was Sodom and Gomorrah about to get towed down? Why did they get burnt to the ground? Because they were nasty. Because they were nasty. They had the men over there at the house. All the men, boys, teenagers, grown men, come over there banging on the door. Hey, bring these men out here and let us get that booty hole. Bring them on out here. We finna wear that booty hole out. I'm listening on audio Bible. But on the audio Bible, it was saying the men came to the door and the men said, hey, bring those men out here so that we can have sex with them. These was men saying this now. That right there, in the Bible, that don't fly. So because they were living like that, God said, I got to burn you to the ground. And then what he said, get out of here. And what he told Lot's wife, don't look back. If you look back, you're going to be turned into a pillar of salt. Here she go. Here she goes. She want to look back. Look back. Turned into a pillar of salt, lost her life. So when you listen to that story, now you get the wisdom to look at your life. So now you look at your life, and when you look at your life, hey, God bless you now, Miss A. When you look at your life, now what is it that's about to get burnt to the ground in your life that you got an opportunity to escape? But if you look back, you're going to be turned into a pillar of salt. Metaphorically speaking, not, but it also could be physical, depending on your life. So see, that's what is in this here Bible. It's wisdom. That's what's in there. People ask me how I do all these videos. Tony, what books you read? I'm reading the Holy Bible. That's what I'm reading. It's a book of all wisdom. You read that book, you really don't need another book. What book you read? The Holy Bible. I ain't promoting no man book. I'm reading the Holy Bible. That's what I'm reading. Tony, how you got over 50 streams of income? The Holy Bible. The confidence I got from the Holy Bible. The wisdom I got from the Holy Bible. Tony, how you got 7, 8 companies? I used to have 13. Had to dissolve some of them. Companies that's actually active. 7 or 8 companies. The Holy Bible. You hear what I'm trying to tell you? Nah, I ain't perfect. A lot of work got to be done. But I'm telling you, we getting ready to go in the scare hours. You better get your life in order. Better get your life in order. You better stop playing with the devil. You got to ask yourself, this right here, what you doing in that bedroom with that battery operated device between your legs? What is that doing for you and your relationship with you and God? That's feeding your lust. That's feeding your nastiness. That got you slobbing out the mouth. And that's why you're looking at that man print. Because you laying up in that bed with that battery operated device or with your fingers, and your mind going in the nasty zone. So now that's why you're out here ready to get on your back because of what you're doing. And Trina P, God bless. So you got to clean up your life. You got to clean up your life behind closed doors, because guess what? I could go in that bathroom and go to getting with Angela. I could go in there and get with Angela, but it's only so many times that I'm gonna picture my wife. After a while, I'm on there with Angela. I'm gonna be wanting to get on this here phone and find me somebody twerking. And you see what I'm saying? You know how I know? Because I'm a human. Because I done been there. That's how sin will take you. That's what sin will do with you. It's gonna keep walking you. It's gonna keep walking you to walk you off that ledge. That's what it's gonna do. You better clean your life up. See, you got to get somebody to say cleanse your spirit. Yeah, that's your behind the scenes got to be pure. How you live my behind the scenes wasn't pure. So from this day forward, everything I say to my child, my children, everything I say to my wife, everything I say to you, everything I say to anybody, guess what's finna happen? I'm finna pretend Jesus Christ, Jesus Christo, sitting right there beside me. Sitting right there beside me. I'm finna be sitting there. I'm finna be sitting there and I'm gonna say, okay, all right. How would I say this if Jesus was sitting right here? How would I talk to my wife? How would I talk to my children? See, your behind the scenes got to be clear. Now, God made me. God made me. So what can I do with God beside me? Am I going to be comfortable with Angela, with God watching? Now, I'd be comfortable using the bathroom because that's a human process. But Angela, see, this where I take it to, because you got to clean that life up. So while you're in there with that battery, oh, Jesus right there. You the that Jesus right there. Jesus right there. What you picturing? What you picturing? And what that's doing for you? But they're turning up the lust. But oh, what the doctor says, oh, the article says they don't serve God. They don't know nothing about God. That science got them believing in Scientology, not Jesus Christ. They believe in Scientology, not Jesus Christ. Cat, oh, God bless you now. You see what I'm saying? Oh, well, studies show that a woman should be having, multiple orgasms and that she needs to learn and explore her body. Yeah, you know why they want you to do that? You know why they pushing that narrative? Because you finna go to the store for retail therapy and you finna spend uncontrollable because you're on that high. You're releasing all that oxytocin and that serotonin in your bloodstream. You finna be out here shopping, spinning up. You finna be uncontrollable because you're on that high. So now you ain't got enough control because you ain't got no clarity because you're in there playing with yourself. And so that's what the doctor's going to tell you. But you got to understand the spiritual side of it. What is it doing to your spiritual, to your spirit man? That's what we used to call it. Your inner man. What is it doing to? It's defiling your spirit. Because it's only so long that battery operated device going to suffice. Then you're going to be calling your baby daddy. You're going to be calling your ex-boyfriend because you want a real with some blood flow. Because that piece of plastic is not doing it. The battery done died. Now you with the milkman and you're in sin. Same thing for the men. You in here with their pornography. You in here on the hub. You in here on the fans.com. You in here with these subscriptions. You in here with Angela. Your hand about raw. Now your hand raw because you're dealing so much with Angela. Guess what? Now your spirit defiled. Now you got an attitude. Now you're walking around turning your nose up. Now you're stealing from work. Now you're cheating on your wife, cheating on your girlfriend. Now you're lost and confused because of what you're indulging in. Your spirit defiled. So see, what God got to do, God got to turn his back. God got to turn his back. Like if you just finna be in willful sin every single day, God can't just sit there and just watch that sin. No, it's gonna be some distance. And you know why? Because God come when you call him. You got free will. You got free will in your life. God ain't interfering in your life. So you got free will. So when you sit down there with that finger, you sitting down there with Angela, you sitting down there with that battery operated device, you shy away from God. You like Adam and Eve in the garden. They didn't even know they were naked till they got nasty, till they went in there and got into that sin. Then oh man, got a meat leg down there swinging. I ain't even know that thing was down there swinging like that. Oh my goodness. Oh, Eve looked down and seen an areola. Oh my goodness, what is this? Didn't even know they was naked until they got in that sin. But then when they got in that sin, God had to come looking for them. Hey, where are you? Adam, where you at? Adam was hiding. So the same thing is the same thing happen when you get into that sin. Now you start to hide from God. You stop talking to God. You lose your relationship because of where your spirit at. Guess how I know? Because I went through it. Because I went through it. But see, when I'm listening to my Bible every day and I'm talking to God, it keep me in check. It keep my spirit right. It keep me pure. It remind me how I'm talking to my wife. I'm talking to my wife totally different. Talk to my wife totally different. Treat my wife totally different. But I know the blessings gonna flow. I know the peace gonna flow. I know everything gonna be under control. I know God got me. I know He got me. I'll be sitting there. I'll be sitting there and can't pay a bill, and God will touch somebody to send me a blessing. Whoa! I needed that for a bill. It just dropped out the sky. God got you. When you're going to be right, when you're going to be living right, doing right, you're going to be taken care of. And so you got to get your life in order. Get your behind the scenes in order. And with everything you do, everything you say, you going to smoke weed with Jesus? Stop smoking weed then. If Jesus was sitting next to you and you will feel convicted about smoking weed, that means you ain't supposed to be doing it. Anything that you will feel convicted about, if Jesus was sitting next to you, you're not supposed to be doing it. You're not supposed to be watching it. You're not supposed to be listening to it. If you will say, oh Lord, yeah, let me turn this off since you're in here. Oh, let me put this down since you're in here. And the next time you get that finger, the next time you get that battery operated device, I just want you to, Jesus, that's you. Oh, I wasn't doing nothing. I was almost asleep. I wasn't doing nothing. So you'll sit there with your toy, with that finger, with that hand, with Jesus right there. If ain't nothing wrong with it, that's your creator. If ain't nothing wrong with it, go ahead. Go ahead. But if you won't do it, if Jesus in the room, then you shouldn't be doing it. I'm telling you, we finna get ready to go in the scary hours. You better get your life right. You better get your life right, because let me tell you, the devil don't play foul. Anybody could get it. His own soldiers gonna get crucified by him. It's like, hey, when he done with you, he done with you. He say, oh, I was trying to use you. I was trying to get you to convert all these people. You ain't winning enough. You ain't winning enough, so I got to end you. I'm finna go on, be done with you, and recruit somebody else. I'm finna go on, move you on out the way. Go on, take your life. Let your sin kill you, and go on, bring somebody else in, because you about to fall off. Your work is done. You done won who you can won. That's what the devil gonna do with you. He gonna discard you. You better get your life right. You better get your life right, because see, if your life not right, when these voices out here, when these people popping up on podcasts and TV shows and music artists, if your life not right, you will be deceived and your life will be ruined, because you don't know right from wrong. You don't know right from wrong. And I'm telling you, we being turned over. Our world being turned over right now as we speak to a reprobate mind. Our world being turned over. Being absolutely turned over. Let it say, she can't find my website. So listen, I know this was supposed to be a Q&A, but the lady said she can't find my website. Nah, y'all give me a second. Let me Google Tony Gaskin. So you Google Tony Gaskin, and TonyGaskins.com is the first thing that come up. You scroll down the page, Tony Gaskins Academy is on the page. But the lady just DM and say, I can't find your website. So it's like, ma'am, you can't find my website, but you can find the DM to DM me. Come on now. Come on now. But see, this is the thing, what I'm trying to tell y'all is, now it could be honest. It could be an honest mistake. But see, listen, The adversary will do anything to get a response. Let me get a response from this man. Let me see if this man gonna DM me. Let me see where this here could go. It's like, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. And I'm gonna tell you, I answer some DMs and I read if somebody put me in their story, they reply. I see it. I see it. And a majority of women are just keep it real business, sending me little videos, sending me little stuff that I need to see to talk about or what have you. But I would be totally fine in my life if not a single woman DM me. I would be 100% fine in my life. I'll actually be happy because in my mind I'm saying to myself like, listen, you know you're a woman. You know what's between your legs. You know what's between my legs. Yes, we could be adults and we could be cordial and don't have to go there, but why even put us in that position? Why even put us in that position? Why even be in a DM where that's a private space? Like, why even do that? But it's because it's like if you know I'm married, yeah, I'm a servant, I'm out here working. But if you know I'm married, don't write me in a private place when we got songs that say it go down in DM. Go to TonyGasson.com, write in through the contact us page, it'll come into support. Go to my bio, it says email. Right there on my bio, it say email. Right there. You see where it say email? Right up under here, where it said that. See right over my finger backwards. See right over there where it say email? It say email, y'all forgive me. I got to get my pet manicure. Need to cut these nails. They clean now. My wife actually do it for me. But they grow so fast. Well, that's good. Good vitamins in or something. You see it say email right there. Right there. When you click email, it pop up. What do it pop up and say at the top? Support at TonyGaskin.com. Right there. Why go into a private space to have conversation if I don't know you already? You see what I'm saying? Now, 9 out of 10 of them could be innocent, but I can't tell the difference. I don't know who is the 1 out of the 10. I don't know. So then it make me look stuck up. It make me look arrogant. And then some people never go beyond that DM when they want coaching or they want a course. They'll never go beyond that DM and they'll never get to the email. Come on now. Hey, I plan to be on here an hour. And I've been having a great time talking to my wife today. 15 years into marriage, we rebuilding our relationship. We start from scratch. And we rebuilding because sometimes you could get away from yourself. You can get complacent. So I really got to live what I'm teaching. And I just want to go in here and ask her questions and look her in the face like the greatest human to ever live and ask random questions and just listen to her and keep on asking questions and just let her talk. And I really got to put in more work there. I give so much to y'all and I do so much on here. And I give so much that a lot of time I ain't got no energy for my wife. I ain't got no niceness left for my wife. I got to come on here with decorum so that I'm not snapping and going off on y'all and, looking like a fool on here, snapping and going off. But then I go to my wife and I done gave all my niceness away and I might be snappy with her. Might be rude and condescending with her. So the Lord had to show me that. Tony, make sure your spirit align now when you go talk to your wife. Tony, make sure you working. Make sure you rebuilding. Make sure you stand on top of things. Got to live this thing now. Got to live this thing. Hey, God bless y'all. I apologize. Sometimes get on this here live and just preach now, because preach and teach, because sometimes them Q&As be draining me, because some of the questions y'all be asking, sometimes it just be draining me. So sometimes they just come on here and just give you a State of the Union address so we could be ready. And God bless you. And Raz Bliss, I might do a course on podcast once I get mine. It's harder than it look though. God bless y'all. And thank y'all for sending those. A couple of donations came in. God bless you. And thank you to the moderators posting my links and sites. Caramel Kisses, I see you. And I think I saw Cher on there too. Forgive me if I miss you. Mama Tish and Glam Rocks. God bless y'all. And we'll be in touch.